we are going to now do Offensive Rookie of the Year. Matt Harmon, take us off. Lead us off. Who is your Offensive Rookie of the Year for 2024?
Yeah, I'll get this takeoff here. It's Jayden Daniels. It's boring. Brock Bowers probably was. Well, no, he definitely was. He's like the best tight end in the league, and he certainly deserves mention here. I think it's a 2-horse race between those two guys, which is crazy because, like I said, those 3 receivers this year, and Brian Thomas, Malik Neighbors, and Ladd McConkey were so dynamic. But it does come down to those two for me. And look, I know maybe this is just pure quarterback bias, but I'm sorry, like he's the whole reason that the Washington Commanders are in the playoffs. Is Jayden Daniels? He is the system. I think Cliff's done a great job there. I think you're right to mention him as one of the assistant coaches of the year, things like that. I think the offense has been well designed, but still, it's that doesn't look the same if you just take Jayden Daniels out of it. In my opinion, he's been that good from a rushing perspective, from a passing perspective. What he's done with Terry McLaurin, like McLaurin having a career season, is directly influenced obviously by the quarterback there. So for me, I think this has to go to Jayden Daniels just because, again, it's maybe quarterback bias, but like I said, this is the Washington Commanders we're talking about. Like they've been a laughing stock for a long, long time, and now they're like a very serious adult team that doesn't have like embarrassing moments either. I mean, especially what he did late in the Eagles game to win that one, and then coming it back with winning the Falcons game on Sunday night. He's shown up in big moments. He's been super clutch. He's been tough as hell this year too. Just so many things I think go in his favor for this one.
Yeah, they're the ones embarrassing other teams into literally falling apart after they lose to the Commanders. Like the Bears pre-Hail Mary and post-Hail Mary splits are the most drastic things you'll ever see. He is the Grim Reaper for some of these teams this year. It felt like Jayden Daniels was. No, I feel like that's one of the obvious choices for this. So yes, Jayden Daniels is Matt's Offensive Rookie of the Year. Charles?
I hate quarterbacks, so I went with Brock Bowers.
Good. No matter what, it's not universal, so that's good.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the part where Matt was like he was arguably the best tight end in the league is where I stop on the Brock Bowers stuff. You know, if he can be considered a top 3 player in his position, that's probably good enough for me to pick Offensive Rookie of the Year. You know, over 100 catches, 112 catches, over 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns. I thought maybe the rushing game stuff might, pop more like it did at Georgia, but it's a little tougher to run jet sweeps against NFL athletes. I think that's fair to say. So
no other threats on your team,
Right. And to me, like even Jacoby Myers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even then, I like the fact that he was like the main target, main source of output. Truly terrible Raiders team, but that was not his fault. So I'm gonna give it to him.
Those are my final 2 as well. The other guys, like Matt said, the receivers, Brian Thomas Jr., Ladd, Malik Neighbors, Bo Nix would just be right outside of there as well. But I looked at Jayden Daniels and Brock Bowers. First for Bowers he was 3rd in receptions among all players, 8th in receiving yards among all players, 6th in receiving first downs among all players, not receivers, not tight ends, not rookies, all players in the NFL. I did end up going with Jayden Daniels, though. Just one of those where long term, I still have some questions about how this offense is. Don't get me wrong. Maybe we'll see it in the playoffs. But for this season and how he played this season, the wins that came with it, even just numbers and metrics wise, it just was such a positive year. Like as far as just efficiency wise, he was 10th among all quarterbacks in dropback success rate, the 4th best rookie season among quarterbacks and dropback success rate since 2012. Had a year there since 2012, 4th in EPA per dropback, 5th in TD rate, 7th in net yards per attempt. And like when you just look at who else has had good dropback success rate seasons as a rookie year, it's Dak, Russell Wilson, Andrew Luck. Just above Mac Jones and RG3, though. So that's the tale of 2 sides here with that stat. But still, just him as a thrower has been so impressive as far as how accurate he is, especially underneath. Still want to see him push the ball and everything. But, I mean, he steps up in big moments, which is what you want. They have the wins this year. He has the Heisman moment with the Hail Mary. Just an exciting, electric player. I'm going to give him this, but I do say if you want Bowers here, I totally agree with that one too, but I ended up splitting it with Daniels. And this is not quarterback bias. I just think he had a good year. And I just think they won games. And he surprised me with I knew you kind of hit the ground running being an older guy, an older rookie, but even just some of his answers he found at times. The Ravens game is the one that stands out to me. Throwing some stuff over the middle. I was like, oh, okay, you got that in you a little bit more than I thought. So also want to mention Drake May, 7th in dropback success rate among all rookies. So he's since 2008. So yeah, also just had to give that a little bit of shout out too.